Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, last time we spoke about this topic, people were outraged. It was the worst thing they'd heard in a while. So we've just been given the next login reward legendary champion. So it looks like they're going legendary, ridiculously bad epic, legendary, ridiculously bad epic. That's the kind of flow. So this is going to be the champion that you get after Scion, the worst epic in the game. Let's see what she's like. Okay, here we go. We have got Guurda Bogbrew. I mean, she is an Ogden tribe. She does have that kind of war mother type of feel about her. Pretty cool looking champion though, as ever. Raid knocked it out of the park. She's got some gloves, child gloves, just around her neck. Or maybe their hands. We'll see. We'll see. She's got literally a pot plant on her back by the looks of it. I can't show you any more than what I'm seeing. A couple of little spoons and a nice ladle. So she's obviously big on eating, big on cooking. She's got a big old fork for eating her dinner. I guess she's going to use it for stabbing people in Raid as well. Let me just walk through what Raid are telling us about the champion, and then I'll give you my view as well. So we've got here, Guurda Bogbrew is a legendary support champion from Ogden tribes. Their expertise is placing a considerable number of debuffs on the enemy team. The passive skill that is also tied to this mechanic will help Guurda to slow down enemy champs by decreasing their turn meter, thus breaking the course of the battle. Guurda's Bogbrew's A1 will have the very same function, while the A3 will help the allies to clear off the debuffs themselves. So far, I mean, it all sounds actually really good. Thanks to their passive, Guurda will be helpful in Arena, and having an A2 AoE attack with a chance of placing Weaken will make her a good deal for Doom Tower stages. Guurda Bogbrew will appear in the game today, and the players will be able to see the fragments of this champion in their daily login rewards lineup starting January 30th. Please note, as per other daily login champs, you won't be able to summon Guurda from Sacred Shards, but she is going to be available from Ancient Shards. That's the way it goes down. People do pull these login champions up front. So let me show you a kit. Let's go into it in a bit more detail then. So what's she actually going to do? And this is the one after Scion. So you've kind of got up to Visix, what's that, 270 days, I think? Up to Visix. You then have got another 3 months of collecting the chicken with Hex. Hex currently doesn't really have a place in the game, but the chicken does hit hard. And is not a bad Hex champion in that pool, but Hex isn't really a place in the game right now. You then do another 2 months of collecting the worst epic in the game, Scion. So I'd imagine this is going to be 3 months worth of Guurda Bogbrew. I'm still on the Scion. My phasing of when I was due to get started on the chicken was late. I would almost just start a fresh page. So I'm almost like 30 days behind a lot of people that are already collecting these champions. It's so annoying. So annoying to get them so late. But anyway, so this is, for someone who's newer to the game, this is way down the line unless you get it from Ancients. Got to bear that in mind. It's almost like, well, we're talking about over a year of playing by this point. A1, Brew Mama. Attacks one enemy, 60% chance of applying a debuff spread, taking one random debuff from the target and placing on all enemies under Weaken. They seem to be favouring this kind of, I'll give you one random debuff spread at the moment, based on something else. Decreases the target's turn meter by 10% if they are not under any debuffs. I prefer this to what we've seen in some of the other champions. The trouble I've got with A1s, which decrease turn meter at the minute, is people like Bommel and Griffin, they massively hamper you for this type of turn meter reduction. So this, against everyone else in the game, is basically awesome. It's awesome to just have a bit of turn meter drop on a boss fight. But those two bosses in particular make it really annoying. Although, at least you've got a chance to make sure that you don't get a turn meter drop. But someone like Bommel, I mean, she's putting debuffs out anyway. Decreases turn meter if they are not under any debuffs. Chances are she's going to be throwing debuffs out at some point. So, I don't know. Yeah, it's just something which I feel like's almost a bit of a miss. You've got a number of champions now that are just ruling themselves out for a couple of bosses. A2 then, Rotlim Decotion. Attacks all enemies. Has an 80% chance of placing Weaken. Goes up to 100, no doubt. After attacking, 80% chance of placing 2 poisons on all enemies without Weaken. These poisons cannot be blocked or resisted. It's an interesting one. So I guess you could run her a 0 accuracy and she's a definite poisoner, or you run her as a weakener. I don't really know who comes up with this stuff. Anyway, Hemlock Surprise, 80% goes up to 100% chance, I'd imagine, of removing one random buff from all enemies. And then 80% chance probably goes up to 100 of placing 2 poisons on all enemies for 2 turns. Also removes 2 random debuffs from all allies. Okay. I mean, that's... So far, we've got two abilities that have the chance to place poison. I don't know. Guys, what do you think here? So this second part of the A2, I can't get it in my head. What's the point of it? Good kit, by the way. Debuff spread A1. Turn meter reduction A1, although it's small. AoE weaken is good. The second part of this debuff, I can't work out in my head. And then we've got AoE poison, plus remove a buff, plus cleanse a couple of debuffs from you. All of that is good. That's actually really good. As a support champion, this is really strong. The thing I can't get around in my head is, when does this ever happen? When does this ever happen? So if you book her, it's probably 100% chance to weaken. The poison debuffs cannot be blocked or resisted. This is after attacking. Does that mean that they will also go on if you weak hit? Because I'm thinking that's the only chance, really, of you not placing the weaken. I guess if this works against Hydra, so if it works against Hydra, where you get a load of those, poisons can't go on. I doubt it does, because they are immune to poison. So even if it says cannot be blocked, well, they're not trying to block it. It just will never go on them. I guess maybe it would go on to people that have got block debuffs up. So there is an opportunity to land poisons even if block debuffs is up. It's an interesting one. Maybe there's more utility to that than I'm thinking. You need accuracy for literally everything else in her kit. So to build her with no accuracy makes 0 sense. Because you actually get poisons off of this bit. So to get the poisons from here doesn't make any sense. Just a bit weird. The rest of her kit, though, is very strong. Whenever an enemy receives a debuff, their turn meter is decreased by 3%. So all of these debuffs going out, just going to give a little bit of turn meter drop, I think she's going to end up being with 2 AoEs. Is this actually a hit? Let's see. 80% chance of removing, 80% chance of placing 2 poisons. It's not a hit. So we've got 1 AoE hit, 1 AoE kind of buff, debuff, transfer type of thing. Yeah, I guess, look, looks like a solid champion. If you get her after the, whatever it's going to be, like a year and a bit, I would question how useful she is to the average account. That's the only thing. Like, when you get your Seal, she's massive. When you get your Visix now, massive champion. The chicken, less so, unless you really want to use that Hex mechanic. This chick, another, like, 5 months down the road. Yeah, decent, but I just question how much you're going to need her. But, you know what? Better than Scion, for sure. Better than Scion. Anyway, let me know what you think down below. And also, what do you think about this kind of second part to the A2? Are you seeing something I'm not seeing? Let me know. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.